one question at a time, please. We'll start with Sunandan.
तो जनरली आखिरी पूछते हो, आज पहला मिल रहा है। एज ए क्रिकेटर काफी कुछ बदल गया है। 2007 से 4 में डेब्यू किया था, 7 में कैप्टनशिप मिली थी। तब से अगर अभी तक का सफर कंपेयर किया जाए तो ओवर द पीरियड ऐसा हुआ कि जो टीम का रिक्वायरमेंट था, स्पेशली मेरी तरफ से, वो काफी चेंज हो गया। पहले कुछ मैचेस में मैं नीचे बैटिंग किया, उसके बाद मुझे ऊपर बैटिंग का चांस मिला, और फिर उसके बाद मेरा बैटिंग ऑर्डर ऐसा कोई फिक्स नहीं था कि मैं इसी नंबर पे जाऊंगा। आई यूज टू प्ले 25 ओवर या 30 ओवर की बैटिंग मुझे मिलती थी, जो कि लास्ट फ्यू इयर्स में चेंज हो गया। ऊपर वाले ने बहुत अच्छी बैटिंग की और मुझे ऐसा लगा कि नीचे कोई वैसा एक्सप्लोसिव फिनिश करने वाला बैट्समैन हमें नहीं मिल पाया, जिसके कारण आई वाज बैटिंग लो डाउन द ऑर्डर। सो ओवर द इयर्स जो भी टीम का रिक्वायरमेंट था, उसके हिसाब से मैंने अपनी बैटिंग चेंज की है। आने वाले समय में जो मुझे रोल और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी जाएगी, उसके हिसाब से मैं वापस चेंजेस लाऊंगा अपनी बैटिंग में। एंड लास्ट 10 ओवर में अगर बैटिंग कर रहे हैं तो ऑफकोर्स मोर ऑफन देन आउट आपको ज्यादा रन बनाने पड़ते हैं, मारना पड़ता है। सो दैट विल बी द नॉर्मल सिनारियो, बट डिपेंडिंग ऑन वेयर आई एम बैटिंग, कितने ओवर्स हैं, क्या है, उसके हिसाब से मैं बैटिंग करूंगा। बाल तो बड़े नहीं होंगे। To cut the long story short, in my mind, my last series was the South African series in India. After that, it's pretty easy to judge why I went to Zimbabwe and all of that. And because of all that, finally, I told BCCI officially that I won't be captaining anymore. I'm somebody who believes in our scenario, split captaincy is something that doesn't really work, and it's not something that I had a view upon right now. It was something I always believed in, that with the Indian team, one captainship, one player leading the team in all the formats is something that's very crucial. And now that I can't be the test captain, since I've quit test cricket, I don't think my views should change. So, it was something that was always in my mind. Virat took over the test captainship and I wanted him to have some time over there and then get into the full captainship role. So he was always ready. Limited or over format is not a big challenge, and that's why I finally decided that this is time to move on and give Virat the full captainship. And एक और कुछ सवाल? The captainship part. I think the wicketkeeper is always a vice captain of the side, irrespective of whether he's the announced vice captain or not. One thing is there that the field setting is usually given to the vice captain or the wicket keeper. In this scenario, I'll have to keep a close eye as to what the skipper really wants, as to what are his preferential field positions. When I was the captain and the wicket keeper, I always knew what I wanted, where I could keep the fielder. So I already had this chat with Virat as to how he likes his fielders, where he wants them to be, because that will have to change in the sense, I'll have to be more aware about, okay, these are the, like, in whether he wants the short third fine or he wants it slightly wider, because different people, have different opinions on how they want to use a particular fielder. I was always somebody who liked the, if you have a short third or a short fine, I always preferred it closer to me, so that it's slightly more difficult for the batsman. He has to play a shot to get it through the right side of the fielder. So, all of that, I'll have to adapt. But overall, I don't think much changes. I'll be there to give as many suggestions as possible to Virat as and when required. And the field positioning is something, I'll have to keep a close eye. I can't just, freely on my own, you go left, you go right. I'll have to consult him, tell him, because if it's strategically positioned in a particular place, it can become a bit of a problem, because if I start moving around, but, it's not something that's a big trouble to cope up with. It's just that I'll have to keep a close eye, especially in the first few games, maybe a couple of games where, I can read the field positioning and everything and use it, from their point.
What do you think were the high points of your captaincy? And any regrets as captain?
No, I don't regret anything in life, because what has happened has happened. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. As far as, the good things are concerned, there are plenty of good things that happen. It's very difficult to pick and say, okay, these were the difficult parts or these were the parts where I really enjoyed it. Overall, it has been a journey for me, the ups and the downs, right from when I started, I went through the good period, I went through the tough period. When I started, there were a lot of senior players in the side, and as we progressed, there was a time when the senior players had to leave, and we had to make sure that the transition is smoother. And also, what really happens at that point of time is you try to groom the youngsters so that they start to perform very quickly. The only good thing is, if you see over the period, once the seniors left us and the juniors came into the side, from that point till now, it's the same juniors who have started to do well. We invested in them, and over the period, they started proving that they are the ones, who will take the legacy forward when it comes to Indian cricket. So, that was a very satisfying thing to see. But overall, it was a journey that I really enjoyed, and it's something that brings a smile on your face. Whether it's the tough periods or the the winning periods, but overall it's a journey that's more important. Well, we have been very close, right from the start. The best part about Virat is right from when he got a chance to play. In Indian cricket, more often than not, we have seen a lot of cricketers say, when they get 5 games, and if they are out of the side, they're always worried about the 2 games they didn't get. But Virat was always somebody, he wanted to improve whatever chances he got. He wanted to do well in those games, and I think that's the reason why he's so successful right now. He always wanted to contribute more. If he scores a 60 or a 70, he was somebody who wanted to score 100, who wanted to be there at the crease, if India, they are chasing, or if we are setting a big score. So I felt that was the key factor for Virat, and right from the start, we have interacted a lot. And, he has improvised his cricket, at the same time his thinking and everything. So I feel, with more responsibility on him, he will keep getting better. And now with, leading the test side for more than a year now and playing a lot of matches, ODI is slightly easy format. Okay, you may have to take quick decisions at times, but still compared to the test format, it's an easier format to captain. So, my job will be to assist him wherever it's needed, give him the, whatever I have, as my thoughts from behind the stump, reading the batsman as to, how they are batting, what their strengths are, how the bowler is bowling, because that's something that is a real asset of a wicket keeper. He sees the whole game in front of him, the bounce of the wicket, the lines that the bowlers are bowling, whether the batsman is playing good shots or the bowler is bowling bad delivery. So, from my side, it will be, flowing of information and, giving him as much information as possible, information that doesn't really confuse him, keep it very simple. And, ultimately he'll have to pick and choose as to, these are the options that he would want to like. And I feel the kind of relation we have got, what's brilliant is, if I go up with 100 ideas to him, he's comfortable saying no to all of them, because that's what his responsibility is, to pick and choose what he is really convinced about. And I feel that kind of relationship is very important, because I shouldn't feel, okay, if I'm saying something that should happen, and he shouldn't feel as if, whatever is coming from my side, has to be implemented, because he has to take the responsibility of whatever decisions he is making. So the more I can serve to him, the more he can pick and choose, the better it will be for our cricket. No, again, what depends is, what is your role in the team. As I said, since I was the captain, and always felt it was difficult for the newcomers to come and bat at 6 or 7. So I thought, I should be the person who takes that added responsibility of, playing lower down the order, so that, youngsters, they come in, they get a chance to, express themselves. And at the same time, once they have, big scores under them in the future. You can look to if somebody has that talent of batting lower down the order, you can shift them to lower down the order. So, that was something that was in my mind, and I kept doing it. Yes, I didn't get a lot of chance to bat because of that. I would have preferred batting at 4, playing more overs. But what's more important is to see if somebody else can bat at 4 and if I can bat at 5, and that gives more power to our batting lineup compared to me batting at 4 and him batting at 5. So overall, you have to see the balance of the team as to what really happens if two individuals interchange their batting positions. And at the end of the day, the team is more important than the individual. I could have got maybe few more runs than what I have right now, but it's about winning. How many games we win, and it's a like cricket. I always felt it was more of a mental game, and at times I've found out that individuals can be very rigid. Because when you're supposed to shift your batting slot, at times it's very difficult to adjust to that new mindset or change the game the way it is supposed to play according to the team or that slot. So I felt I was somebody who could do it, and I was willing to do it for the team. And it's the same as of now. If I'm supposed to bat at 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever the demand is for the team's betterment, I'm ready to bat there.
I think last question that please keep it short because practice is starting to start.
You didn't give much away on the field, and often you didn't give much away during the press conferences as captain. So, what are the things about captaincy that actually gave you a kick and went on the field, off the field, like that?
I think what the main job of a captain is to make sure that whatever the potential of the player is, he's performing to the 100%. Usually it's if you can achieve something from 90 to 110%, you are done really well. You can't really get 150% performance out of a player, who is 80%. So that's where you have to be very practical. You have to be very honest. You should know ways as to how you can handle each and every individual. There are different ways to handle everyone. For some it's kind word, for some it's harsh word, for some it may be just expression in your eyes. So, you have to figure out what really works the best, and at times it may be the false confidence that you're giving to the guy because that's what is really needed at that point of time. But you have to be clever enough to evaluate as to this is what is needed at that point of time. And, ultimately the leader's job is to get the best out of the team. If the team is there and if you know the potential of the team, you can definitely make sure that they're performing to the potential. You may face a few problems at times, let's say if you have 2 or 3 batsmen who are not performing at the same time, it may be a hindrance. But more often than not, you look at the bigger picture of saying, if you're backing someone, once it comes to the ICC events and the big tournaments and the knockout stages, who is that person, who can really win big games for you. But at the end of the day, you can give only a few games to the individual. Maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more games, that is provided by the team if they're doing really well. But overall, you can't do much. But still, you need to have that faith, and you want to make sure that everybody is performing to the kind of potential they have.
What aspects of the captaincy will you not miss here on?
Press conferences, I always felt, there were too many press conferences. I always felt it was better to have the captain come from the post-match, because also what happens is, I feel, we don't need to have press conferences every day because you want new views, new ideas coming from the player side. So, let's say for a startup of the series, you have the captain coming up for the first match press conference, then you have, maybe after the game he can come again, but after that whoever is performing should come for the pre-match, because more often than not the questions are related to the game and the skipper is, appropriately placed to answer those questions. And before the game, I don't think the skipper can say a lot before the start of the game. If you're going through a bad phase, you're like, okay, what's the next game plan? Okay, game plans are not done in press conferences. So I always felt, the captain at times had too many exposures, especially when we went outside, at times it became difficult to convince the local bodies as to, it's not really needed, it's a waste of time and talent. But it was like, okay, it's written in the MOU, so the captain needs to do it. So it was actually quite foolish, but I always felt the post-match is where the captain can go and express himself, what went wrong, what should be done, and all of that. Pre and post, I think it's a waste of time.
Amol, was there a trigger as such? You spoke about what prompted you to
No, right from the start, as I said, when I left Test captainship, I knew, split captaincy doesn't work in India. Doesn't work in our setup. So I was waiting for the right time as to what is the right time. I wanted Virat to ease into the Test format. And with so many games, I feel he's right there. And also the fact, with this kind of a decision, the best thing is there's no, wrong decision in it. It's just the timing, and it's the right time. I feel this team has the potential, to do well in all the formats, irrespective of where we are playing. And people keep debating as to who's a good captain, who's a bad captain, who's the best captain. I think this team has the potential, when it comes to winning games, they should win games more than any other captain or team has won, because that's the kind of potential that they have got. You look at the kind of talent they have, and at the same time, the age group they are in. It seems as if everything goes well, they have the potential to play for the next 10 years or 12 years, if not more. We have a pool of bowlers, fast bowlers who can bowl well in any condition. We have a pool. Why pool is important? Because if a few of them will get injured, because we play a lot of cricket. So if few of them gets injured, all of a sudden you are not in a dilemma that, who is your strike bowler. And that goes through across all the formats, the T20, the ODIs and everything. So, I feel it gives the team the opportunity, and especially Virat, starting from the Champions Trophy, to win the Champions Trophy in England. And, I felt it was the right time to move on, because if I'd have stayed till the Champions Trophy, nothing much changes. A lot of people were like, okay, why did I quit mid-series in Australia, But, you have to look at the bigger picture. What is more beneficial? One more game into my Test number, maybe it would have been about 92 or 91, whatever. It doesn't make a lot of a difference, but since Saha was there, he gets a chance to play one more game in Australia, and if everything goes well, he will be the person who will be going into the foreign tour, so he has that exposure, and Virat also at the same time gets the same kind of exposure.
Last question, Harith.
As I said, if it's the numbers, I think Virat and his team will win more games than me in all the formats, and when it comes to taking cricket, how it's supposed to be played and all, I think, the whole pool of players, they seem to be the ones who will play cricket in the right spirit, the way it is supposed to be played. It doesn't seem as if, there are a few individuals who may break the laws and all of that, when it comes to being on the field and how we are supposed to conduct ourselves on the field. So, both ways are covered, and I feel, it will be the most successful Indian cricket team ever on a consistent basis, because that's the kind of potential they have, that's the kind of experience they have right now. Though they are young, but still they have played a lot of cricket both in India and outside, and in pressure situations. They have played in knockout tournaments, when it comes to the ODI and the T20 format, and they have played under pressure. We have played a lot of test matches in India, but they were not easy test matches. We played on a lot of turning wickets where the lower order contribution was very important. At the end of the game, you may see, okay, we won by so many runs, but actually the game was much closer than, what the scorecard really predicts. So, it has the recipe to do everything, and, I firmly believe this will be the team, that will, rewrite history, if you want to say it, or I think, they'll do something very special, in the coming years. Of course, the period will be slightly longer, because they will be together for a long period. So hoping no injuries, no serious problems to any of the, core member of the groups, they will do very well.